What do you think motivates Lamar as a character?
Money,
Yeah, yeah.
money and respect,
And the
money and
woman?
respect,
Yeah,
and women. Yeah,
yeah,
money,
yeah,
respect, and women. Absolutely. You know what
yeah.
I'm saying? Money, respect, and women. Lamar's always trying to hit big some kind of way. You know what I mean?
Mm,
Lamar was a visionary without foresight, and that's crazy. It's kind of like, how could it be? But yeah, he was a visionary without foresight.
mm, mm. Do you think Lamar really believes in the gang lifestyle, or do you think he's just stuck in it and it's the way he's brought up?
I think Lamar really believes in it.
Yeah,
He believes it's a way of life. I
it's his
mean, he
world.
believes, yes,
Mm,
it's his world. You know what I'm saying? And I think like a lot of real life people in those situations, that's a world that they're in, that they feel comfortable in, that they might be big in. You know what I mean?
mm,
And to be big in your world, who doesn't want to be big in their world? You know what I mean? But unfortunately, the world's a lot bigger than your world,
mm.
so you got to learn to adapt to bigger things. But you
Yeah,
know.
yeah. How would you describe his and Franklin's friendship? Are you still tight with Franklin, solo as well?
Absolutely,
Yeah,
absolutely, absolutely.
yeah.
You know what I'm saying? They brothers, they come up in the hood together, they do all kinds of shit together, and they do the shit that brothers do.
Mm,
You know what I mean? It's always love there, you know what I'm
mm,
saying? It's always gonna be Franklin and Lamar against the world. You know what
mm,
I'm saying? They might not always agree as characters, but again, as characters, it's gonna always be Lamar and Franklin against the world.
Do you think he ever feels left behind by Franklin's success?
Absolutely he
Yeah,
does.
yeah,
You
yeah.
know,
Lamar should have gone with
absolutely.
Franklin. It should have been all the way.
You know, but unfortunately, Lamar don't always understand that
Mm,
everybody can't go.
mm,
You know,
yeah.
everything ain't for everybody, but that's just what that is.
Mm. Do you think the game is very accurate to the LA life, or yeah,
I think the game is very much exaggerated. It's accurate. It's accurate and it's exaggerated. You know
yeah,
what I mean? But it's a game, so of course it's going to be exaggerated. It's a game, but yeah, I believe that as far as the landscape and the feel, you know, everybody's story is different. So we can't just say whether a story is accurate, but I say as far as the landscape and the feel, yes, it's definitely accurate.
mm, mm. What would you like to have been done differently for Lamar in the story, do you think?
I don't think I would have done anything different with Lamar.
Mm, mm,
I don't think I'd have done anything different with him
yeah,
because, Lamar's always going to hold a special place.
yeah,
You know what I mean? Lamar is like, again, like the ultimate side dude. You know what I mean?
mm,
It's like Lamar's always going to hold a special place.
yeah,
I think Lamar being not being playable made made him feel more real to people, for
okay,
lack of better words. You know what I'm saying? Because when
yeah,
you can play as a character, you begin to, you take that and you embody that for yourself. But then you got this other guy that, that has so much impact
mm,
that he's talking to you and, you can't play him. And he
mm,
just, you know what I'm saying? He seemed like a whole nother person at that point. You know what I
mm.
mean?
But you were going to be the playable character at one point, weren't you?
At one point,
Yeah,
from what I understand, yeah, I was supposed to be a playable character, but some things happened
mm,
on my end that wasn't cool. So, they kind of derailed that. However,
mm,
it was nice that Rockstar kept me on
yeah,
to do what I did. So that's why I say I wouldn't change a thing because, again, you know, the love that I see for GTA 5 and that people give me, for my performance as that character, man. Um, Again, it's amazing, man. I really respect, appreciate, and I'm humbled by all the love and the way people get at me, man, and that's dope. And again, I think that by Lamar not being playable, you got a different feel with him. You got a different,
mm,
rapport with him because you wasn't
yeah,
able to jump in the shoes until a couple of iterations later, I guess.
yeah. Do you ever get stuck in character? Do you still get
I don't
stuck in
know.
character?
I don't know if I get stuck in character when again, is it stuck in character or
Well, you are the character, like we were saying at the start, I suppose. So,
being
yeah.
I'm being as humans we multifaceted, my guy.
Mm,
You know, you got, I mean, you got all types of, not necessarily different personalities, but different ways. And, you know, we connect and we, you know, we talk to people different and we deal, you know, with different groups of people differently. You
mm,
know what I mean?
mm,
You know what I mean? And unfortunately, for me, is that that's, you know, that's the type of shit that they were looking for. And
mm,
I was able to deliver that, you know,
mm,
my own, I'm only me and I can only interpret, you know, my culture a certain type of way. I can only incorporate, I can only interpret my culture my way.
mm.
So they allowed me to do that, and I appreciate that.